Welcome to this beautiful and awesome lesson. All right, guys. On our previous lesson, we were able to build this our sample calculator, which was working fine, okay, and looking awesome. So now, let's take a moment and look at if-else statement, okay. But before we get there, let me show you something before we come fully to the if-else statement, okay. Let's see the difference between reassignment, constant, and overriding. Okay, so for instance, let's begin with int. So we say integer s, then we assign a value to it. So we say integer s is equal to 20. Then here we say cout x, then we end it here. We end the line here like this. Now we have set s into 20, which is very understandable. So now, what if we come here and still call the s and we reassign it to 30? All right, so now what will happen when we run this code? Okay, now before we run, remember I said our comparer, it read our code from top. Okay, so let's bring the 30 here. Okay, so we first assign the s to 20, and now we have reassigned it to 30. So when you run it, what are you going to see? It is not going to add the 20 with the 30 and give you 50. What is going to happen is that it's going to override the 20 and give us 30. Okay, let's bring it on the screen and see. Let's run it. And there we go. You can see that we have 30 here. Okay, so now it has overridden 20 and given us 30. So what if you want to print the 2? If you want to print the 2, fine, we can bring it here. We can bring the 30 here. Then here, what to do here is that we can come here and also assign the s again. Okay, so now when we run the code, we are going to get the 20 and the 30 at a go. Okay, you can see that this is not really ideal. Let's say we are building a real world project which contains about million lines of code. So when we build a project like this, sometimes some of the variables are going to override some of the variables that you have already used. So what do you do in a situation like this? So in all programming language, we use const, especially in JavaScript, we use const. Okay, this is the same as C++. So now we are going to use the const, which stands for constant. Okay, so what this does is that it makes that particular variable constant. Okay, so that it can never be override, or we cannot change that data type at any point in time. Now, what if we want to create a variable whereby we would never change the value or reassign? How do you do that? And this is what you're going to do. Okay, so to do that, let me clear the code. All right, now, so to do that, we use what is called const. Okay, const means constant. Okay, so let's say at first it was x, the variable was x. Okay, then we reassign the s, and we came here and we reassign the x to, let's say, 20. Okay, so it was something like this. Okay, so it was something like this. Okay, so x, and we give it a value of 20. So when we run this code, we are going to get our 20 as usual. Oh, sorry, we have to end the code. Okay, so when we run it, we are going to get our 20 as usual. Okay, so we have our 20 here, we printed out. Now, to make it constant, okay, to make it constant, whereby you can never reassign or change the value, you add const to it. Okay, you say const. Okay, const ends. That is all. Adding const to it, we are good to go. But we can see that we are having some error here. All what is trying to mean is that when you are using a const, okay, you have to assign the value to it on the same line, not on a separate line. For instance, here we give the s a value of 20 on a different line, but here we cannot do it like that. Okay, so what you have to do is we come here, then we reassign it to it like this, and we are good to go. So we will not need this one. Okay, so it will be on one line. Okay, so now when we run the code, we are going to get our 20 if all things be equal. Okay, now, and there we go, we have our 20. All right, so now let's prove stubborn and try to reassign the value s equals, let's say, 30. Okay, we have reassigned it into 30, and let's try and print it and see if it will override it. You can see that even we are getting error. You can see that it cannot assign the value x, okay, with a const. So with a const, we cannot reassign it. Okay, now you might think that, okay, it is because I write the code inside this place. So what if we reassign it outside the cout, the first cout? After you read it, you read this one, then we say, okay, let me reassign it like this. Then we do what cout, then we call the s again, then we end the line like this. So when we run it, we are still going to get the error. You can see that we are still getting the error. Okay, you can see it's the same thing. The value s is const, and const cannot be reassigned. This is what I want you to understand. Okay. Okay, so now the same thing applies to all the data types. Okay, so when I do constraint, then I give it a name, then I assign it to what? Joseph. In the same way, I cannot reassign it again. Okay, I cannot reassign Joseph again. Sorry, it's const s. So in the same way, so if I come here and call, let me end it like this. So if I come here and call my C out, then I give it a name, then we end it like this. And when we print it out, yes, we are going to get a positive response. Okay, 20 and Joseph. Okay, so now when I try to reassign the string, which is the name, okay, for instance, when I come to this place, if I come here and do string name equals string name equals David, okay, so when I reassign it in this manner, it is not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work. You can see that we are getting an error because this name has already been constant. Okay, we have declared it to be a constant, so we cannot change its value again. Okay, as we are doing it here, that is why we are getting that error. So this is the conception that I want you to understand before you move on.
Code Afric. Unlock the future.
All right, so now back to today's business. Okay, so if else statement. Well, so what is if else statement? If else statement is help in decision making. Okay, so in programming we make a lot of decisions. Okay, so we begin with the if statement before we can go to the else statement. Okay, so let's say for instance we want to write a code to see if Kofi is a boy. Okay, so now we write a code like Kofi, give the string of a variable of Kofi, then we assign it to a boy. Then we said if Kofi is a boy, this is where the if statement comes in. If Kofi is a boy, then what do you want to see out on the screen? Then we said, okay, then show Kofi is a male child. Else Kofi is not a male child. So it could be anything. Let's say today we ate rice. So we said if food equals rice, then what do you want to see? We ate rice. If it's not rice, then horse, we ate something else. So it could be anything at all. So if your statement is help in decision making in programming, that is where our program become more interactive in making decisions. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. So now let's take it in a practical manner and see how it works. Let's say that a school proprietor gave us a project to build. Okay, so they want us to build a project whereby it will check the age of the student that are entering the school. Okay, this is the instruction that was given. If the student is 16 years old and above, then you should allow the student to enter into the school. Or if the student is over 35 years old, then the student is not qualified to enter into the school. Okay, so the program that you are building, it is going to check if the student's age is 16 and above, then we will allow the student to enter into the school. But then, if the student's age is above 35 years, then he's still not qualified to enter into the school. So we are going to use the if else statement to see how we can build a simple program like that. Okay, so now let's start. And as usual, we are dealing with age, so we are going to use the int. Okay, integer age. So the variable here is what? Age. Now we do what? See out. Then we said enter your age. Okay, let's be polite. Please enter your age. Then we will end the line like this. We are going to do the see-in. Okay, and from the see-in we are targeting what? The age. Okay, something like this. All right, so this is a simple thing, and I'm sure you are familiar with this one. Okay, because on our previous lesson we did something like this. So now when we try to print on the screen, let's see what we have. When we run our code, you can see please enter your age, and when I put my age like this, let's say my age is 16, the code ends. Okay, because we have not written any additional code to it, so the program will end just like that. That is where we are going to begin our if else statement. Okay, we are going to begin our if else statement, and it's very simple. Just follow the proceeding. Okay, we are starting with the if statement. Okay, so we said if. Okay, so you call if, then you give it a parenthesis like this. So the parenthesis will follow by the curly braces open and closing like this. Then we open inside like this. Okay, so this is where our decisions will go. So now we pass in an argument. And what is the argument that we are passing? It's the variable. So what is the variable there? Is age. So the argument that we are passing is age. And we said the age should be greater than 16. Okay, so the student's age must be greater than 16. Okay, that is what we are doing. Okay, so now we'll do what? See out. Then we say if the age is greater than 16, then what are we want to print on the screen? We say congratulations, you are qualified to enter the school. All right, so we say congratulations, you are qualified to enter the school. Okay, then we end. Let's end the line like this. All right, so now you don't have to be confused about anything here, okay? Let me explain it better. Okay, this is for this one, you know it already. Okay, for this one, you know it already. I don't have to take much time. But with the if else statement, it's very simple. Let me create something here for you to see. So we just need if, okay, something like this. Then you need your curly braces. This is if statement, okay. Basically, this is how it looks like. Okay, so now here is where you pass in the argument. The argument is the condition. Okay, the argument is actually the condition. Okay, so we pass in the argument, which is what? The age, and we said the age should be what? Greater than 16. That is all what we are saying. And inside this curly braces, that is where all your code will go. Okay, and this is what we put. Okay, this is what we put, and we said what? If the age is greater than 16, then allow the person to pass. Okay, so we will congratulate the students and let the student knows that he's qualified to enter into the school. That is all. So now let's run the code and see what we get. Okay, so he is asking of our age, then we said we are 16 years. Then when you enter the code clash, okay, the reason why the code clash is because we said if it's greater than 16 years, 16 years is not greater than 16 years. Definitely our code is going to crash. Okay, it's going to end. Okay, the program is going to end. So now let's put any figure which is above 16. Okay, so let's put 20. Please enter your age. When you put 20 and hit enter, we can see that our congratulations message here. Congratulations, you are qualified to enter the school. Awesome. Okay, so here one will be asking, what if I want 16 years old to be able to enter? What do I do? Because if the student is 16 years old, he also qualified. So what do we do if you want 16 years also to enter into the school? Okay, so the simplest answer that we can give is that, okay, then I'll change this value to 15. But it's not really ideal. What if I want 15 also to enter? You said you're changing to 14. What if I want 14 to enter? What if I want, so if you go to 1. What if I want 1 year old also to enter? What are you going to do? You say I'll change to 0. What if I want the 0 also to enter? You can see that it's not really ideal. So what you have to do is that if you want 16 years also to be able to enter, then you give it what? An equal to. So it will be if age is greater than or equal to 16 years, then you are qualified. So now let's run the code and let's use 16 and check. Now enter your age, and I said I'm 60 years old. When I enter, they say congratulations, you are qualified to enter the school. Why? Because we use what? Greater than or equal to. Very simple as that. So if this condition is true, then this code will run. Okay. So now let's run the code and let me show you one more thing. Okay. So it's asking of the age and said our age is what, 10 years old. It's not telling us anything. The code just crashed and it ends just like that. Okay. We don't just want the code to crash without even saying anything. Okay, so but we want a message that will let the user understand that okay, this is and that, because of this is and that, you are not qualified. Okay, so we want something like that. So that is where the else also comes in. Okay, that's why we call it if else. Okay, so now we are done with the if. Now we are going to the else. Okay, so the else, you do something like else. Okay, el. Okay, else. Then you open your curly braces. So else what? The next line of code goes in here, inside that curly braces here. If the age is below 16 years, then what message do you want the person to get? Okay, so we say see out. Okay, so we want to print a message like this. Okay, sorry, you are too young for our school. Okay, then let's end the line. Okay, so something like this. Now let's run it and see. So please enter your age. Then we say we are 12 years and say, sorry, you are too young for our school. So something like this. This one, it is more professional way, okay, to give the person message, the reason why he's not qualified, okay. It is really idle. All right, so now our code is looking awesome, but it's not yet perfect. Let me show you something. The instruction that the proprietor gave us was that the student should be 16 years and above, but it should not be over 35 years. Okay, so as we can see, when I tap 60 years old, it qualified me to enter. Okay, even though I'm 60 years old, but it still qualified me to enter, which is not really ideal because the instructions was so specific that when a person is 35 years old, he should not be allowed to enter. Okay, so we need to write another line of code that would prevent those that are above 35 years from entering into the school. Okay, all right. So how do we do that? That is what we are going to do on our next episode. So till we meet again, happy coding. All right, guys, we are still on the conditional rendering. So on our previous lesson, we were able to explain if else statements. Okay. So we are proceeding, and in this lesson, we'll be looking at the or and operator. Okay, you can see here we have the or operator and we have the and operator. Okay, these are the symbols. Okay, with the or operator, we use two pipes. Okay, two pipes line, and with the and operator, we use double ampersand. Okay, as simple as that, and we are going to explain it. Okay, so now remember the proprietor gave us a project to work on. That is to build a program that will detect who is qualified to enter the school based on their age. Okay. He gave us a specific that the student that's been qualified to enter the school should be 16 years and above. Okay, which we're able to do that. Okay, now we are looking at the second section. Okay, we are looking at the second part of the program, that is who also is disqualified to enter the school based on the age. So that is if the student is above 35 years cannot enter. Okay, or is disqualified to, for instance, if you are 35 years old you are qualified, but if you are above 35 years then you cannot enter the school. All right, so let me run the program and show you the issues that we're having. Okay, now we run the program. Please enter your age, and we said our age is, let's say, 19, which is above 16. Okay, so when you hit enter, congratulations, you qualify to enter the school. Now let's run the program again. When you run the program, please enter your age. Then we said our age is 78 years, and it says congratulations, you qualify to enter the school. But then the instruction was that if the person is above 35 years, then the person cannot enter. Now, we are going to write a program that will prevent any age which is above 35 years from entering into the school. And we are going to use these two operators, okay, which is the or and operator. Okay, now how do we do it? Let's begin working with the and operator, okay, which uses the double ampersand. All right, now when it comes to the if statement, the if statement here, it says what? If age is greater than or equal to 16, or if age is 16 years and above, then print this one, see out this one on the screen. Okay, then if it is below, then we see out this one on the screen. So now we are going to add the and operator, and it is very simple. This is how it goes. Okay, we already know this, we already know this one, so we are just adding the and operator. So to add the and operator, we will do the and. Okay, so if age is greater than or equal to 16 years, and then we do age is less than or equal to 35 years. All right, so just writing this simple line of code, we have done a lot to our program. Okay, so now we have added the second condition here. Okay, so now if the age is 16 years old and above, then we can enter. In the same manner, the age also must be less than or equal to 35 years old. Now let's run the code and let's use the higher figure, which is above 30 years, 35 years old, and see the response that we will get. Age, we say 75 years, and we hit enter. So now we can see, sorry, awesome, awesome. So that is the functionality of using the and operator. Okay. All right. So let's take it from the layman point of view. Okay. With the and operator, both the condition here must be true before this line of code will be executed. Okay, else it will trigger and execute next line of code. Okay, so if this condition here is true, if both is true, then this code can go ahead and execute. That is the and operator. Else, if it's false, then it will trigger the second, which is the else statement, and this one rather will be executed. All right, so now to explain the or operator, we have to run another code in order for us to understand it better. Okay, So now let me clear this one. Now we have received a contract from a management from a casino, urging us to build a program for them that will allow people that are above 18 years and above, to be able to enter into their casino, okay, or into their hotel, and also have 5,000 Ghana cedis on them. Okay, so if you are 18 years and you have your 5,000 Ghana cedis, then you qualify to enter into the casino. Okay, they also gave us another condition that, okay, fine, let's be considerate. Okay, so if the person is above 18 years and not having the 5,000 cedis, let's consider. Okay, if the person also is having 5,000 cedis and above and less than 18 years, that one too, let's consider. Okay, so now the condition here is true. If you are not 18 years but you have your 5,000 Ghana cedis, you are good to go. If you don't have your 5,000 Ghana cedis, but you are 18 years and above, that one too, you are good to go. So this is a project that we are going to build, and we can only do that with the help of what, the OR operator. So now let's see how we can put it into code and see how it turns. All right, so now let's go ahead and build that. Before we begin, I have to add another variable called what, money. I hope you understand, because we have added money issue in. Okay, so now I will say C out. I will say how much do you have in your pocket? Okay, so how much do you have in your pocket? All right, now I'll say C in money. Okay, I'll say C in money. Now let's go ahead and write the condition. Okay, so we say if, with my parentheses, if, then I'll pass the argument here. So if money is greater than or equal to $5,000. Remember, it's $5,000 that we want. Okay, it's too much, $5,000, but that is what they said. Okay, so we are doing what the management asked us to do. All right, so if the money is greater than or equal to $5,000, now this is where we are going to add a or operator. Okay, or then we add age. I think I have to start with the age first. So if age, let me start with age. You can start with money or the age, everything goes. Okay, so I would like to start with age. So if the age is greater than or equal to 18, or money is greater than or equal to $5,000, then what is next? If these conditions are true, then go ahead, we do C out and print this one on the screen. Okay, so C out, then we say congratulations, you are qualified to enter. Congratulations, you are qualified to enter. Okay, let's end it here. Okay, okay, so congratulations, you are qualified to enter. If any of these conditions are true, then this code will be executed. Okay, so if both of these conditions are false, then what would be executed? Then we write our else statement. Else, we do C out. Sorry, you are not qualified to enter. Okay, sorry, you are not qualified to enter. All right, so by doing this, I think we are good to go. Okay, now if there's anything here to be explained, it will be only this one. Okay, which is the OR operator. Okay, so remember with the AND operator scenario that we had before, with that one, both the conditions must be true. Okay, but this one, if one condition here is true, this code will go ahead and execute it. Okay, so with the AND statement, both conditions must be true before you get your code being executed. But with the OR statement, if one condition is true, you are good to go. Okay, this line of code will be executed. Then if all conditions are false, then it will move to the else line. Okay, then this code rather be executed. Now let's try and see. Let's run our program and see. Please enter your age. Let me pick a lesser age. Okay, so I'm 15 years old. When I hit enter, even though 15 years old is false, okay, but it's still asking how much do you have, because the condition is all. Okay, so how much do you have? I have enough cash on me. So the requirement is 5,000, but for me, I'm having $7,000. Okay, now when I hit enter, it says what? Congratulations, you are qualified to enter. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so that is the all statement. Now let's run the code again, whereby you get all the conditions false and see what is your age. I'm 15 years old. How much do you have on you? I only have $2,000. When I hit enter, sorry, you are not qualified to enter. Okay, so our code is working fine. Okay, it's working perfectly as expected. All right, so just consider the OR operator to be the opposite of the AND operator. Okay, so with the OR operator, if both conditions are true, then we are good to go. But with the AND operator, both conditions must be true before this code will be executed or you'll be qualified to enter. Let's change it to AND and try it one more time. So let's run the code. Please enter your age. I'm 12 years. 12 years. And how much do you have? I have enough cash. I have $10,000 on me right now in my pocket. Please allow me to enter. Enter. Sorry, you are not qualified to enter. But I have $10,000. You are requiring $5,000, but I have $10,000. They still say no. You are not qualified. Why? Because we are not using the or operator. We are using the and operator. All right. I hope it's clear now. All right, so now the last thing I would like us to explain before we move on is that with the or operator and the and operator, okay, you can see the symbols here. If you don't want to use the symbols, you can use the right words. Okay, let's say if I want to use and, I can just type and, okay, small letters, and I am good to go. My code will still run. Okay, so age 10, the amount is qualified, but it says what I cannot enter, which means the and operator is still working when I use the and, okay, the and. In the same case, if you want to use or, you can also use or like this, or, and you are good to go. Okay. But in proper implementation, it is better for you to use the symbol so that it will help you. The reason being is that if you are using this one, you might not be know whether it is a variable or whatsoever. When you are having about 50 or 100 lines of code, you are going to be stressing yourself to read your code. The readability of your code will not be all that comfortable. Okay, that is why it is advisable to using the two pipelines or using the double ampersand. Okay, and so that is that. We are through with the if and the else statements. We will look at the different thing on our next section. Okay, so let's meet on the next one and learn more.